It's Wave 6. As with the past 6 times, we'll be evaluating the course, the look, the music, and the X Factor, giving each one a score out of 5 in the top right corner where 3 is, it's okay. The Acorn Cup. Disclaimer, none of these courses have anything to do with acorns. Rome Avanti from Mario Kart Tour. La Roma, in the land of Italia, my home country. So I've been meaning to tell you, your 20 dog and me results came back and you're 100% Siberian. Stromboli from Russia. Spaghetti, nope. Mozzarella, nuh-uh. Croissants, that's France. Rome Avanti is another world tour course, and while the bar for these is not very high, this Roman course is one of the better ones. Some of the other world tour courses don't have a good flow to them compared to regular courses, since they're 3 different versions Frankenstein into one conglomeration, so they have a lot of awkward turns and jumps. Mario Kart Tour is also a game on rails, so you don't really need to worry about sharp turns or weird turns. However, this Roman excursion does not have this problem. I like how all 3 laps are different, and there was a good amount of overlap here between all 3 laps. So if you're amazing at Mario Kart, like I am of course, then you'll have a lot of drivers going the opposite way as you, which is really funny. I don't know much about Rome other than the Colosseum, which is in the course, and they have the chain chomps acting as traps, which is a nice touch. But apparently Rome's sewers have a mole infestation that they might want to look into. Also, I thought this blue building was a TARDIS my first time playing this game. I'm sure there's a Doctor Who episode set in Rome. It's basically British One Piece. Rome at night looks really good, and the music for this course does sound vaguely Italian, but more like something you'd hear from the Italy zone at Epcot, the lamest Disney World zone. DK Mountain from Mario Kart Double Dash. Hell yeah, I like my Mario Kart how I like my women. Double D! No, take that out. Do not put that in the video. An absolutely iconic course from Double Dash and Mario Kart Wii. They keep bringing it back because it's such a classic. You launch out of a cannon up the mountain, then descend back down the mountain. Courses like DK Summit and Waluigi Pinball, DK Mountain was the blueprint. And in this version, the boulders are operated by an MLG Sisyphus atop the volcanic knoll. Is this happening to anyone else? I forgot the old versions even had boulders, and now every time I gotta look out for some distant Geodude using a rock slide. Anyways, I like how in this version, you can do tricks off of the windy gyrations of Heartbreak Bridge at the end. I don't know about y'all, but that bridge got me feeling some type of way. But you know what's BS is that being launched in the cannon doesn't protect you from the blue shell, like it did in the previous versions. What a ripoff! The music on this course is not good, but it's not like they had much to work with without just making a brand new song. The original song is just drums, and in this version they added like a pan flute, I think. Regardless, DK Mountain has always been a classic for decades and will always be a classic for decades. Daisy Circuit from Mario Kart Wii. This course is notable because it's the most official character exploration Daisy x Luigi has gotten in 20 years. The DayZG fandom have been feasting on scraps with the return of Daisy Circuit. But my question is, who built this? Who commissioned this? Well, given that's called Daisy Circuit, and you got Daisy Cruiser in the waters nearby, and Daisy got that princess money, I assume Daisy? Was this her way of proposing to Luigi? Because if someone surprised me with a gigantic public statue of me dancing with them, and baby me dancing with baby them, even if it was a princess, I would get in my Mercedes Mario Kart and drive away very quickly. Oh no, the course loops! I'm trapped! Other than the alleged toxic love bombing, it's a relatively simple course, but it is very pleasant. As far as the visuals go, the soft lighting across the course looks really nice, but the in-game models, like the buildings, are very simple. Hard to call this a true improvement over the Wii original. I always enjoyed the shortcut straight through the middle of someone's apartment, and I like the little lip near the finish line that can help protect you from some of the shells thrown by haters. Piranha Plant Cove from Mario Kart Tour, even though it doesn't say that in the game, it's from Mario Kart Tour. It's like a little mermaid course, but with no colors and also a little splash of Sonic Adventure 1 Snake Temple action. The music is a little lackluster. I mean, it is a Tour original course, but otherwise it's fine. Both the underwater water and especially the surface of the water look really good. Miiverse user Mario Wii U would truly be in awe of this course if he did not tragically die in a drowning accident in 1981 and has been a ghost inside our machines this whole time. Speaking of dead, RIP to the other Piranha Plant course, Piranha Plant Tube or whatever it's called. It's the only Mario Kart Tour original that did not come back in this one, so after the servers inevitably shut down, it will be considered lost media. Maybe they didn't want to bring it over because it didn't work well in Mario Kart 8, or maybe they didn't want 2 Piranha Plant courses in the same wave, not to mention Piranha Plant Slide and Piranha Plant Jungle and Piranha Plant Circuit. There's a lot of PP in this game. Not to say the Piranha Plant doesn't deserve all these courses. They are an iconic, time-tested character who survived through the generations. They are in Smash Brothers and not Master Chief for a reason. Pay your respect, god damn it. Anyways, I haven't been talking about the course because there's not much to say. It's fine. There's plenty of hazards to dodge and plenty of mushroom shortcuts to cheat the corners. I like that they managed to fit all 3 versions into one course, but I often forget about that one sharp turn at the start of lap 3. The course overall has a washed out look because, you know, it's underwater, and while there are certainly different objects decorating the course, laps 2 and 3 blend together in my mind, so it's hard to quickly tell where you are in the course and remember which turn is coming up next. The Blue Shell Cup. Sorry, the Spiny Shell Cup. Nobody has ever called it the Spiny Shell besides Nintendo. Drop the act! Madrid Drive from Mario Kart Tour. So I've only driven this course for a couple days, but I think I'm gonna call it. This might be my favorite World Tour course, or at the very least, definitely in the top 5. Don't get me wrong, these city courses really are the battle of mid, but I gotta give to Madrid Drive because it has so much variety and flavor to it. You're constantly changing to a new location to appeal to the quick attention spans of the TikTok generation. The course itself is a nice smooth ride, with enough pizzazz to keep you engaged. I like how on lap 1 you got the big wiggler taking a siesta in the plaza and then wakes up from its mimosa-induced coma on lap 2. You even drive through a mini coconut mall. Wait, nope, it's Spain. Platano Mall, Uva Mall, Naranja Mall. There's a lot of little details from Madrid that they managed to squeeze into the course. I would not be surprised if someone on the design team has actually been to Madrid and liked it. Like even all the signs are actually in Spanish. And I gotta talk about how the music is legit really good, which I rarely say for the tour courses. It's got that iconic Spanish guitar and flowing strings. Feels like a battle theme from the Puss in Boots soundtrack, you know what I'm saying? Feels like I'm Don Quixote de la Mancha gearing up to fight a windmill, you know what I mean? But that's not all, because the song has 3 different versions that dynamically shift depending on where you are on the course. Everybody loves that. You got that classy tuxedo version that plays when you're driving your go-kart through a museum gala, and you got the Gregorian chanting in the football stadium, which does not surprise me. Overzealous supporters? Corrupt institution in charge? Soccer is the real religion of the world. Rosalina's Ice World from Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. You know, I always have my finger on the pulse of the goings-on of modern Mario Kart, so I was actually able to correctly predict 7 out of the 8 Wave 6 courses. The only one I got wrong was this one, Rosalina's Ice World, because no one could have predicted Rosalina's Ice World, because why the fuck would you put in Rosalina's Ice World? Even the name is like, huh? What? Ice World? I played a good amount of Mario Kart 7, and I forget this one was even in the game. I get the sense that they're saving some of the best 3DS courses for the next Mario Kart, because outside of 3DS's Rainbow Road, for the Booster Pass, they really did pick the lamest 3DS courses. And sure, most remaining Mario Kart 7 tracks that are also in Mario Kart Tour are mostly very mediocre outside of like 4 of them. But come on, why not Shy Guy Bazaar or Wario's Shipyard? This course has 3 main gimmicks: Mario Galaxy, Snow Course, and 2 layers. This course takes some inspiration from Super Mario Galaxy. Up in the sky, you got what I believe to be the first planet of the Good Egg Galaxy. Had it been Mido, I would have had the Starship Mario from Mario Galaxy 2 fly through the sky during the level, since as we all know, Galaxy 2 is the superior Mario Galaxy game. And they've got a Comet Observatory-like structure that is not the Comet Observatory, but does vaguely resemble the Comet Observatory. It's kinda cool that they made a level based on Mario Galaxy, even though there's already Cloud Top Cruise in the base game based on Mario Galaxy. But the difference here is that I don't even think this Ice World is a specific level from Mario Galaxy. Did Rosalina make this world after Galaxy 1's ending where she rebooted the universe? Because that's a thing that she can do, and it'll never be mentioned again. All I'm saying is, they could have instead based a course on that Fire Ice World from Super Mario Galaxy that is much more distinct from the other snow courses. Speaking of, Gimmick 2, it's a snow course, as if there already aren't plenty of those in this game. But I get it, with 96 tracks in the game, there are obviously gonna be some repeated climate biomes. Come on, there's like 5 Rainbow Roads. But this is the second snow course where there's a sloped drifting section next to a bottomless pit, and the camera makes it so that you cannot see where you are going, which it's weird that it happened twice. Gimmick 3, there's a top layer on top of the ice, and an underwater layer beneath the ice that somehow doesn't kill you, but then again, these characters can breathe in space, it's fine. But doesn't that remind you of another course already in the game called Sherbet Land? I do like how the iceberg you drive on gradually melts during the race. Is Mario Kart making a political statement about climate change? Wow, talk about a woke game. Look, I'm sure this course does have its fans. I'm sure the average winter enjoyers and Rosalina's strongest soldiers are gooning for this course. But every single wave has had its obvious stinker, and for me, this is the low point of Wave 6. Which, it's not even that bad. It just kind of exists, which highlights how pretty good Wave 6 is overall. Bowser's Castle 3 from Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. This course is actually pretty good for a SNES course on the Booster Pass, which along with the GBA courses are consistently some of the lamer courses in the game. But it received a pretty big glow up compared to the original, and speaking of glow ups, I appreciate the glow effect that the lava casts on the drivers. The best part of this course is the up and down section. It takes a lot of skill to hit this turn without slamming on the brakes first, and it usually isn't worth the trouble, but it is a major flex if you do manage to hit it. This course is called Bowser Castle 3 to trick you into thinking they added more than one Bowser Castle out of 48 courses. I'm a little shocked they didn't add more, but also I'm not that shocked because all the Bowser Castles kind of blend together in my mind. I like how the music makes great use of heavy kick drum, but other than that, it's fine, it exists. And finally, Rainbow Road from Mario Kart Wii, also known as the Devil's Grundle. So back in the day, you could play Mario Kart Wii online, back when that existed, and this is back in the days where you could vote for any course in the game. So in every single lobby, after every single race, half the people were voting for Rainbow Road every single time. You just played on Rainbow Road last round, it don't matter. Yo ass is going back to the Pride Parade in the sky. And that's largely because it was such a difficult course. Boys turned into men, balls were dropped like asteroids off the side, battle-hardened tilt-control warriors were forged on the hellscape of Wii's Rainbow Road. And in 8 Deluxe, maybe it's because this game is so much less janky as fuck as Mario Kart Wii, the perils of Wii Rainbow Road ain't so bad in this one. As long as you're not playing on 200cc, because there, this map plays like the original, and you need to grab that horse and hold on for dear life. And by horse, I of course mean the B button. Even though Lakitu catches you much faster in this Mario Kart, I do like how they still kept the meteor effect for falling off the course. Lakitu catches you mid-meteor, which just looks really funny now. Visually, just like the original, and just like most Rainbow Roads, this Rainbow Road is once again a visual spectacle, truly a feast for the eyes. It nearly passes for the graphical quality of a base game course. And one thing I appreciate about the Mario Kart series is how the actual road of all the Rainbow Roads look different, while still capturing the essence of a rainbowy road. And that holds true here. That being said, and I hope this doesn't ruin the course for anyone, this Rainbow Road's road looks like a sparkly bathroom floor that a toddler spilled a jar of glitter on. Wave 6 final thoughts. I think the Wave 6 courses are, overall, the strongest and most consistent in quality, but the characters are the real highlight of this wave. Many people, including me, were worried when at the end of Wave 5, there were 2 remaining slots and 3 highly requested characters still missing, but they chose the good ending of, fuck it, we ball, and added all the characters who should have been in 8 Deluxe at launch, and also Peachette for some reason. They went all out with the trick animations, like Funky Kong, sexy poses on a surfboard. It don't get any funkier than that. Sadly, unlike in Mario Kart Wii Time Trials and Tropical Freeze, playing as Funky Kong does not make this game any easier. Pauline sings sometimes, like when she's going through the DK Mountain Canyon, but she's always singing that same song from Mario Odyssey, Jump Up Superstar. Girl, you ain't December Mariah Carey, learn another song. She ain't beating the one-hit wonder allegations, I'm afraid. Diddy Kong is back, finally, and he doesn't cost $40 like he did in Mario Kart Tour, only $25 for the Booster Pass. Nature is healing, the economy will recover. And every time I say this, I know all 3 Mario Kart Tour fans get upset. So yes, technically, that was not the only way to unlock Diddy Kong in Mario Kart Tour. You did not need to buy the $40 Diddy Kong Pass. You could also get him through Gacha. So yeah, Diddy Kong was $40. Peachette is here too. I assume they were gonna stray away from this character after the whole Bowsette internet title wave, especially when she's not even a real character, she's a power-up for Toadette in the Switch port of the Wii U game New Super Mario Bros. U, and it's a way you can play as Peach because the actual Peach is kidnapped. Is actual Peach just a Toad powered up by a crown? In all her appearances, she's always wearing the crown. Oh, and they added over a dozen Mii costumes, and each one of these has at least one unique trick animation, like the dolphin does a little swim, and the cow throws it back. As some of you may know, I'm a big Mii player since it's the only way I can play as a black person without being a fucking inkling. And I wear the Pac-Man suit because it looks the coolest and I wasted money on the Pac-Man amiibo. But I may dip my toes into some of these other ones from time to time. The Daisy amiibo gives you a Mii costume too, which was a very random addition, but cool. I think after over 35 years of making video games, Nintendo finally realized girls like to play Mario games programs too, so they're gonna be adding more girl playable characters, like Daisy. She's in Smash, she's in Wonder. I'm telling you, Year Luigi? Nah, it's gonna be the gradual decade of Daisy. The new credits are pretty fun. I'm glad that the devs who worked on the booster pass specifically get the credit they deserve. And it features a fun medley of all the new Boosty songs, which gave me a greater appreciation towards them, especially the bass line going bananas during the Ninja Hideaway section. There's now room codes for easier online nearly a decade fucking later. And then music player. This game does have the best Mario Kart soundtrack, so now I can finally throw away my iPod Touch with the cracked screen from 2008 and instead jam my entire Nintendo Switch into my pocket and use that for music. Overall booster course pass thoughts. While it did eventually stick the landing, this is one of the most bungled product rollouts I've ever seen. It's like that gif of putting down train tracks while on the train. Here's new courses and they look noticeably worse than the base game. Multiple data mines like the prefix leak and music leaks telling everyone what the courses would be way in advance. These are all gonna be old courses. Just kidding, there's gonna be some new courses. Just kidding again, those are actually tour courses, but we won't say that in the actual game for no reason at all. The first 3 waves, no new characters. Then just kidding, 6 new characters. Just kidding, 8 new characters. Just kidding, also a bunch of Mii costumes too. And more stuff not in the trailer, and random waves like balance patches so everyone's not using Wiggler Waluigi, and item selection for versus mode, and a music player and room codes for easier online. There was no concrete plan at the start. I get the sense they kinda did whatever. Mario Kart 8 does have a strong Mario Kart Wii bias, especially after the booster course pass, and even though I am Mario Kart Wii's #1 hater, I'd say this bias isn't inherently a bad thing, you know, it was a lot of people's first Mario Kart. 11 of that game's 16 original courses are in Mario Kart 8, and even more if you count the repeat retro courses. Previously, some people would say that Mario Kart Wii had the best playable roster. Originally, Mario Kart 8 had so many missing fan favorites in favor of babies and Koopa kids and glorified palette swaps even after DLC. But now 8 Deluxe unequivocally does, since the entirety of Wii's roster is inside 8 Deluxe. Weird that it took 9 years to get here, but better really late than never. Here's my ranking of all the waves. Not that you care, or not that it even matters since you can't buy them individually. I do think they purposely backloaded this pass to entice players and amp up sales at the end, especially before the holidays. There's gonna be a lot of press releases of, look how much content is in this pass. Doubling the number of courses in the game for $25 is a pretty good deal. At the end of the day, more Mario Kart is a net positive. That being said, these courses are absolutely a downgrade from the courses from 8 Deluxe. With the exception of maybe the 2 Rainbow Roads, every single course looks noticeably worse. This is the only time I've ever seen a video game do this. Buildings barely textured, many sections with cardboard audiences that move at 2 frames per second. I get that these are mobile ports, but it just does not look good. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is one of the best looking Switch games, and the Booster Course Pass is not. It's very jarring. As far as course layout design goes, the best courses in the Booster Pass are better than the worst courses in the base game. But the majority of Mario Kart courses have improved over time, so these old courses being faithfully brought back with very few updates is a reflection of how they are old. Now, as someone who didn't really play Mario Kart Tour, the Tour maps are the brand new maps for me, and they're not the best. They were clearly designed for a mobile game on rails with limited control, not really for a game with as many dynamic play options as Mario Kart 8. While a few of them have some good ideas, overall they have very basic layouts, hazards, and shortcuts. Kind of a hit and miss with these. For the city courses, they do a pretty good job of representing highlights of their respective cities, and I like that for the most part each lap is different, although it does lead to some awkward turns. As for the city selection of this world tour, who the fuck was in charge of planning out this sauceless, unmelanated, no seasoning, colonizer-friendly, country club membership holding, mayonnaise spreading, trust fund investing, IPA tasting, no rhythm dancing, pumpkin spice latte ordering, Ed Sheeran listening, 3-point shooting, Ronald Reagan worshipping, hot dog water drinking, country music playing, clapping on 1 and 3, not washing your hands after using a urinal, potato salad at the cookout, bringing world tour. You barely covered half the world. You could pick from any city, like Mexico City, Rio de Janeiro, Buenos Aires, Lima, Havana, Istanbul, Mumbai, Beijing, Hong Kong, Seoul, Taipei, Cairo, Lagos, Cape Town, Addis Ababa, Dubai, but instead 0 in Africa, 0 in South America, 7 courses in Europe, 3 in North America, and the only course below the equator being Australia? Was this pass just a way to preserve the Mario Kart Tour courses while also making money off of the massive install base of the Switch's best-selling game, while also providing some value to the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pass? Yes, and maybe they're all lower resolution to keep the file size smaller. But again, at the end of the day, more Mario Kart is more Mario Kart, and that's a net positive to me. Even if the additional courses are not as good, the game is more fun with them than without them. I saw somewhere that getting through each course at one sitting takes 6 hours? God damn. And even after future Mario Karts, I will probably still be playing this game too, since as you all know, I'm jacked as fuck and have the balance of a gymnast, so I split the Joy-Cons and play this game on the treadmill while training for my marathon, which I crushed, by the way. And by crushed, I mean I crossed the finish line without needing medical attention. And hey, we take W's where we can get them. But anyways, as I continue training to remain in peak physical form for decades to come, even when randomly selecting courses, I'll always be cognizant of which courses are base game courses and which courses clearly are not. One final thing I will say about the booster courses is that I like how many of them added more trains. Mario Kart 8 is dead! It's over, it's finally over. Mario Kart 8 is dead! Honestly, I don't get why so many people are celebrating this. People always want the new hotness instead of appreciating the OG greatness they've had in front of them this whole time. That's why Deborah left me for Alejandro. But it's been the same Mario Kart for almost 10 years! Yeah, well, looking at the sales data, 80% of y'all did not have the Wii U version. That's right, I don't want to hear it. I'm sure this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm glad they went the Deluxe version plus DLC route instead of a completely new Mario Kart 9 route. Mario Kart 8 on Wii U was already a super polished game with very obvious flaws, and the enhancements the Deluxe version brought made it the best Mario Kart. Adding to that game allows them to improve an already amazing experience without splitting the audience, and allows for experimentation. Given what was positively received in the Booty Pass, I would not be surprised if in future Mario Karts we'll see some courses with things like more variation between the laps, hopefully a better starting roster. A new Mario Kart is good, but also a chance to mess up, like with the original 8's battle mode, or 7's roster, or Wii's overall jankiness, or DS's snaking, or Double Dash's unbalanced special moves, or Super Circuit's mediocrity, or 64's weird ass drifting, or Super Mario Kart just being kind of a bad game. Mario Kart is consistently fun, yet infrequently without issues. They found a great formula with 8 Deluxe and were able to experiment with the BCP instead of taking a wild swing with a brand new mechanic or weird rebalancing that may not have worked out and that we would have been stuck with. So where does Mario Kart go from here? It's the same as the Smash Brothers question. What do you do after you've more or less made the ultimate version of the series with this massive scope? Because this is the best Mario Kart. It looks the best, it sounds the best, it plays the best, and it has the most stuff. Well, they have a couple options, and I'm not a fucking Nintendo game designer. This video is fan fiction speculation now. Port Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the booster course pass included, and call it a day. I don't think anyone really wants this option, including Nintendo, but there is a non-0% chance of this happening. Make a radically different game. It's gonna be Gran Turismo serious kart racing. It's gonna be Forza Horizon and be open world. It's gonna be Sega All-Stars racing with flying and boats. It's gonna be Super Smash Bros. Kart with way more guest characters and courses. It's gonna be the new F-Zero with a story mode that's stupidly hard. I don't know, Mario Kart is probably gonna stay Mario Kart, but again, non-0% chance of this happening. Reboot the series with Mario Kart 9, which does not make any sense for the kart racing genre, but more so, pretend like 8 Deluxe doesn't exist. They'll do 16 new courses and 16 retro remakes, or maybe 24 brand new courses and 24 retro remakes. Then a year or two after release, do a booster course pass again to add more. I don't think they want to release a new game that immediately looks inferior to 8 Deluxe, because a significant portion of the 57 million people might not want to buy it, and the next Mario Kart will always be compared to the sheer quantity of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Plus Booster Course Pass on the Nintendo Switch family of systems. But I don't think 96 totally fresh courses is possible. Even 48 courses might be a stretch. Here's what I think the best case scenario would be. At time of writing, the next Nintendo console does not exist, so this all hinges on how similar the internal framework of the next Nintendo console is to the Switch. And they usually try to get out a new Mario Kart near the beginning of the console lifecycle, since everybody buys Mario Kart. They're gonna call it a new Mario Kart, probably not Mario Kart 9 since either of these could be considered Mario Kart 9, and it'll have 48 new courses, and by new I mean Nitro and Retro Remake courses. Plus, it's gonna include everything from 8 Deluxe, and hopefully they'll improve the resolution of the booster courses so it'll all look like it's the same game. So basically, build a whole new Mario Kart on top of 8 Deluxe, but primarily talk about the new stuff and marketing. Include all the missing drivers from Tour, and every driver from my character prediction chart, except maybe not that bottom row of wildcards, and I think they'll add outfits and carts from Tour into the new game too. It's kind of the best of both worlds. People will strongly disagree with me here, but I do think the best sequels are ones that reuse a lot of stuff from the original game and build a whole new game on top of that foundation, while still refining what was in the original. Tears of the Kingdom, very similar base Hyrule, but a whole lot of more game world and hundreds of new mechanics. Spider-Man 2, very similar Manhattan from Spider-Man 1, but also added Queens and Brooklyn, plus a ton of new gameplay mechanics and set-piece boss fights. Each new Mario Kart has its own new gimmick, and other than the tandem carts from Double Dash, most new mechanics stay in the series, like Wii introducing bikes and tricks, 7 splitting up frame, wheels, and glider, and having underwater driving. Anti-gravity has to come back if they want to port over any of Mario Kart 8's Nitro tracks, which I think is fine since it doesn't really change much gameplay, it's only truly noticeable in the replay mode. A new gimmick can't be too complicated because Mario Kart is played by everyone, including small children, including inexperienced gamers who are at a friend's house. The game has depth for sure, but anyone can just pick it up and play it and immediately understand. Nintendo game designers generally try to give you things you didn't expect, so sitting here trying to predict it in a YouTube video is stupid. So anyways, my prediction is the Wonder Flower or something similar. I don't think it would work as an item, but I do think that either on lap read to drastically change the course for everyone, which some courses already do, like Grumble Volcano peeling back, or a Wonder Gate where you drive through it and it changes the course for those players for that one section. But having parity between players would be kinda hard. So I don't know, just make it open world 100-player battle royale instead. Well, that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, then you may also enjoy my previous video, which is an indie game review on Kingdom 80s. Comment below with your opinion on Wave 6, on the booster course pass overall, and where you think the future Mario Kart is headed. And don't forget, today's comment code word is Golden Mushroom. Comment Golden Mushroom if you made it all the way through the video, and that's it, video's over.